You're watching Football Daily and here are this week's biggest transfer headlines. With less than a month of the window remaining, it's all kicking off in the transfer market, and so we have a massive show lined up for you today. Get discussing the latest rumours in the comments below. Anyway, let's get started. Probably the biggest transfer saga of the summer has been Man City's pursuit of Harry Kane, and this week the Tottenham striker's efforts to leave North London turned up a notch. As we discussed on Monday's winners and losers, Kane failed to turn up at Hotspur away at the start of the week when he was due to return from his 3-week break following the Euros for a COVID and basic fitness test. Come Tuesday and he still hadn't shown up, with The Athletic reporting that the 28-year-old plans to stay away until he is granted permission to leave. But with the club standing firm that they won't sell to an English rival, with an offer of around £150 million from an overseas club understood to be the only thing they would consider, it could be a long few weeks for the England captain. The club has also denied the existence of the so-called gentleman's agreement that Kane is understood to have thought would have allowed him to leave this summer, and a hefty fine is expected if he continues to be a no-show. But of course this isn't the first time the club has taken this stance on one of its stars. Daniel Levy also refused to sell Luka Modric and Gareth Bale to Premier League rivals, with both players ending up at Real Madrid. And while Bale and Modric also kicked up a fuss at Levy's hardball tactics, Kane's actions have been somewhat less expected, given his one-of-our-own status and the loyalty he has shown to the club up until this summer. Nevertheless, there is no doubt he has gone down in many Spurs fans' estimations this week as a result. However, according to Fabrizio Romano, Kane is planning to return to training later this week and will discuss his future with the club then. So if this is to be believed, his strike will be short-lived, and whether it strengthens or weakens his cause remains to be seen. But reports this week also suggest that Man City are not yet ready to meet the striker's steep valuation, with £120 million currently understood to be what they are willing to pay. So even if Kane is eventually allowed to leave, expect negotiations to be tough for the English champions. Over to Arsenal now, as it looks like the Gunners' pursuit of James Maddison is gathering pace. A long-time target for the North London club, Maddison is apparently keen on a move to the Emirates, and speculation has grown in recent weeks over the future of the Leicester star, who has continually impressed at the King Power since signing from Norwich back in 2018. And now, according to Chris Wheatley at Football London, Arsenal's technical director Edu has opened negotiations for the 24-year-old, with a player plus cash deal apparently being touted. Leicester's valuation of Maddison is understood to be around the £60 million mark, which would represent a profit of almost 3 times the £22.5 million they spent on him 3 years ago. And this is understandably deemed too steep for Arsenal, who have already spent upwards of £50 million to secure the services of Ben White. But with players like Joe Willock, Reece Nelson and Eddie Nketiah available, Gunners fans will be hoping they can find a workable solution. Whether the Foxes would accept is of course another matter. With Martin Ødegaard now back at Madrid and with Granit Xhaka ready to sign a new deal, the Gunners have apparently made Maddison their number one target, with manager Mikel Arteta said to be a big fan of the Englishman. According to Wheatley, negotiations are slow, but if the player wants the move as has been reported, Edu may be confident of securing the deal. But can you see this move happening, and how much would you pay for Maddison if you were Arsenal? Let us know in the comments. Before we move on to our headline story, a quick reminder to subscribe to Football Daily and hit that notification bell to never miss a video. Over in West London, speculation over the possibility of Romelu Lukaku making a long-awaited return to Chelsea is picking up steam, with reports this week revealing that the Blues have had an offer of £85 million plus Marcos Alonso rejected by Inter Milan. According to The Athletic, at least 2 bids have now been lodged with the Italian champions, who are wrestling with financial difficulties this summer. However, while they have already sold Achraf Hakimi as part of their efforts to bring in much needed revenue, it's understood that Lukaku is generally considered untouchable by the Inter hierarchy, with the club more willing to sell Lautaro Martinez if recent reports are to be believed. Nevertheless, £85 million for a striker who turns 29 next year is a serious amount of money, not to mention Alonso, who Inter manager Simone Inzaghi is apparently keen to sign. But it's also very understandable why the Nerazzurri would be unwilling to part with Lukaku. He's hit 30 plus goals in his 2 campaigns at the San Siro since signing from Man United, a feat not managed by Icardi, Ibrahimovic, Vieri or even Ronaldo before him. And he was also deservedly awarded the Serie A MVP last term after firing them to their first Scudetto in over a decade. What's more, everything that Lukaku has said so far this summer suggests that he is very happy in Milan, where he has hit the best form of his career. However, if Chelsea are seriously determined to land the player they initially signed from Anderlecht 10 years ago this month, an increased offer may be too good to turn down for Inter. And according to Fabrizio Romano, the Blues are now preparing a bid of at least €120 million, a figure the Telegraph's Matt Law has said should be enough to convince the Nerazzurri. Romano has also said that they will offer Lukaku a contract worth €12 million a year. It would certainly be a statement of intent from the Blues, one which would surely rule them out of the race for Erling Haaland and signal ambitions to seriously challenge on all fronts in the upcoming campaign. So it could be a glorious return to the bridge for Lukaku. Speaking of Erling Haaland, with Chelsea seemingly taking their eye off the Norwegian star, there is once again hope among Man United fans that he can be persuaded to join the Red Devils next summer. And it's not just what's happening at Chelsea. Real Madrid seems to be throwing all their eggs in the Kylian Mbappe basket, while Pep Guardiola clearly sees Harry Kane as the ideal number 9 for him at Man City. If all three clubs succeed in securing those targets, United may not face too much competition once Haaland's reported €75 million release clause comes into effect next summer. Back in March, the Manchester Evening News reported that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and football director John Murtough are in agreement that Haaland is the number 1 striker the club should be targeting, and if Edinson Cavani hadn't signed a new deal, we may well have seen stronger links in the press between the Red Devils and the Dortmund marksman. The same publication reported this week that Solskjaer has 12 months to make his dream signing, and if the United manager can achieve success this season, a move to Old Trafford may become more attractive to the youngster, who rejected the chance to join the Red Devils back in 2019. As well as Solskjaer's historic links with Haaland, the opportunity to link back up with Jadon Sancho, with whom Haaland developed an excellent understanding at the Westfalenstadion, could also be a pull factor. But as we've said many times in relation to this potential move, the club's uneasy relationship with agent Mino Raiola would no doubt make any pursuits more difficult. But do you see United as frontrunners for Haaland if he stays at Dortmund until next summer, or will another club beat them to him? Let us know down below. We finish off this week's episode at Aston Villa, who according to the Telegraph are preparing bids to bring Tammy Abraham and Axel Tuanzebe back to the club. The pair both enjoyed loan spells at Villa Park, where they helped Dean Smith's side to promotion in 2018-19, a campaign in which Abraham scored 25 goals in the Championship. Tuanzebe's contract at Man United expires next summer, and while there is an option to trigger an extra year, the club have not chosen to do so yet. Newcastle have also been linked with a move for the 23-year-old, although this would just be a loan, but a move to St James's Park would bring with it a bigger guarantee of first-team football for the defender. Nevertheless, the familiarity of Villa Park, where he was a regular when fit in 18-19, may be a draw for Tuanzebe. As for Tammy Abraham, it's long been known that an offer of £40 million should be enough to get him out of Stamford Bridge, but whether Villa are prepared to pay this will most likely depend on if Jack Grealish's £100 million move to Man City goes through. With the Villains having already signed Emi Buendia and Leon Bailey, the Premier League outfit are bolstering their attack in the event of Grealish leaving. But following Ollie Watkins' superb debut season in the Midlands, in which he scored 14 and assisted 5, Abraham may well be the club's second choice if he were to sign. So that's all we have time for on this week's Transfer Talk, but which of these moves do you see happening? Let us know in the comments below and we'll do our best to reply. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave it a like, and why not stick around by checking out the latest Sunday Vibes, where we discuss the wonder kids to watch this season. Thanks for watching, bye for now.